Hi guys, good morning. The previous class we started about breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, breathing and exchange of gases we have started in the yesterday's class. In the yesterday's class we have discussed what is the basic idea of respiration as well as various respiratory organs in the various organisms. Okay, afterwards we have discussed about various pages involved in the respiration like breathing, diffusion, transport, diffusion, cellular respiration, like that. Okay, today's class we are going to discuss about human respiratory system. Okay, come on, please. Human respiratory system. Here, human respiratory system. This is human respiratory system. The human respiratory system involves external nostrils, nasal chambers, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi and bronchioles, finally lungs. These are the structures which involved in the respiratory system of human being. Come again, the structures: external nostrils, nasal chambers, next pharynx, after that larynx, after that trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, finally lungs. These are the parts which are involved in the respiratory system of human being. In detail, we discuss about various parts. Come on, please. Wait. Okay, right. In details, external nostrils. External nostrils means at upper lip above, near the tip of the nose, a pair of openings are there. They are called external nostrils. Okay? Above the upper lip, at the tip of the nose, having a pair of openings into the body are called as external nostrils. The external nostrils are opens into spacious chambers. Suppose these are external nostrils. These nostrils are opens into a chamber. It is called nasal chambers. How many nasal chambers means two nasal chambers are present, as well left as well as right. These two nasal chambers are separated by a nasal septum. Nasal septum which is made up of hyaline cartilage. Tip of the nose as well as nasal septum is made up of hyaline cartilage. So the two nasal chambers are separated by a septum which is called nasal septum, which is made up of hyaline cartilage. In detail, inside of the nasal chambers, basically they have three parts. They are vestibular part, respiratory part and olfactory parts. First of all, we discuss about vestibular part. Means soon after opening of these external nostrils, there is a spacious chamber that is called vestibular part. In the vestibular part, you can see hair as well as sebaceous glands. Okay, soon after nostrils, you can feel some hair inside as well as certain sebaceous glands. These two structures together helps to filter the dust particles from the environment. Okay, At the time of inhalation of the air, along with air, some dust particles may be taken into your nasal chambers. Okay, that dust particles can be absorbed by this sebaceous gland secretions as well as filtered by the air. Okay? Okay. Afterwards, the second part, the major part of the nasal chamber, that is called respiratory part. The respiratory part. The respiratory part totally lined with mucosa. Totally lined with mucosa. And it is also having a huge quantity of capillaries also around it. It is acting as air conditioner. Okay. The respiratory part in the nasal chamber, which is acting as air conditioner, means it is maintaining the external air favorable to the body temperature. If the inhaling air is with more temperature, it decreases temperature. If the inhaling air is with cold conditions, it can heat up that air. Means the inhaled air can be maintained similar to the body temperature here in the respiratory part of the nasal chamber. That's why it is called as natural air conditioner. Respiratory part is called as natural air conditioner. In the respiratory part, afterwards, three twisted bony plates are present. Three twisted bony plates. They are called concave or turbinals. The names of that plates, superior concave, inferior concave, and middle concave. Superior concave, inferior concave, and middle concave. So like that, three bony plates are there in the respiratory part of nasal chamber. Afterwards, olfactory part. The olfactory part is lined by olfactory epithelium, which is helps in detection of smell. This olfactory lining is covering over the superior concave. The olfactory epithelium is covering over the superior concave, which is helping in detection of the smell. Afterwards, pharynx. Nasal chambers over. Now we are discussing about pharynx. In the pharynx, what we can say, it is a common passage of air and food. It is a common passage of air and food. Here above the soft palate, one pair of nostrils are present. They are called internal nostrils. Internal nostrils are opens into the pharynx. As well as the pharynx is opens into the trachea through glottis. Okay, pharynx is opens into trachea through glottis. Okay, the beginning of trachea is larynx. Means here the pharynx is leads to trachea through the glottis of the larynx. Okay guys, have a look please. Come on, diagram please. Diagram. Next. What we have discussed, these are the parts of respiratory system till now. This is nose. This is upper lip. This is the mouth. This is the tongue. This is lower jaw. This is a palate. Have you seen? This is a palate. The anterior part is called as hard palate. The posterior is called as a soft palate. The hanging structure is called as uvula. Above the palate, it is called nasal cavity. Below the palate, it is called oral cavity. At a digestive system already we have discussed. Here external nostrils are present at nose. These are external nostrils. These are openings. The openings are enters into nasal chambers. These are nasal chambers. In the nasal chamber, the beginning part is called as a vestibule, where the hair and the sebaceous glands are present. This is entire region is called as a respiratory part, which is lined with mucosa along with huge peripheral capillaries, which is acting as natural air conditioner. This location, this nasal chamber. The upper part is called as superior concave, the middle part is called as middle concave, the posterior one is called as inferior concave. Upper superior, middle concave, the lower one is called as inferior concave. Like that, three plates of concave or terminals are there in nasal chambers. The superior concave is lined with olfactory part, which is helps in olfaction, means the smell. Already we have discussed. After nasal chambers, this is called pharynx. You can see this is a junction box. From outside, it is opening of nasal chamber. Inside, it is opening of oral chamber. Posterior, it is opening of esophagus as well as a trachea. This is esophagus, this is a trachea. The pharynx is junction for all, means it is a common passage for air as well as food also. Okay guys? Okay. In the pharynx, at the last structure of the nasal cavity, the opening, the pair of openings are called as internal nostrils. Internal nostrils are opens into pharynx. Okay guys? Okay. And the posterior region of the pharynx having a lid. You have seen this lid. This is called epiglottis. The opening of trachea is called as glottis. The glottis, next is larynx. Just be careful here. This is esophagus. This is trachea. The beginning of trachea is larynx. Larynx means voice box. The opening is called glottis. Glottis is having a lid that is called epiglottis. At the time of swallowing the food, the epiglottis closes the glottis. This is opening, the opening of larynx. Okay, the epiglottis closes the glottis at the time of swallowing the food. Come again guys, please. This is oral cavity. This is nasal cavity. Both are opens into pharynx. Posteriorly, this is esophagus. This is the trachea. The trachea beginning is larynx. Larynx means voice box. Voice box opening is called glottis. This is called glottis. Glottis is having a lid that is called epiglottis. At the time of swallowing the food, this epiglottis closes the glottis. Then the food enters into esophagus. Otherwise, the air from the nasal chamber enters into the glottis. Be careful. This is a passage of air like this in normal conditions. When at the time of swallowing the food, the epiglottis closes glottis, then the food enters into esophagus. Like that, both food as well as air also passing through the pharynx. Okay guys, come on, take a look. Next slide please. Next we are discussing about larynx. We have completed external nostrils, nasal chambers, internal nostrils, pharynx is over. Now we are discussing about larynx. The larynx, also called as voice box. This is present very beginning of trachea, opens into the pharynx through glottis. Already we have discussed it in the previous slide. Come again. Larynx is voice box. Okay. It is present very beginning of trachea. Okay. It is opens into the pharynx with glottis, which is guarded by the epiglottis. Okay. In detail, the larynx having 9 cartilages. 9 cartilages. In that, 3 paired cartilages means 6. 3 unpaired cartilages, 3. Total 6 plus 3, 9 cartilages are present. First of all, we discuss about unpaired cartilages. Unpaired cartilages are thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage and epiglottis. Okay? Okay. What are unpaired? Thyroid, cricoid, epiglottis. Thyroid cartilage. We have detailed discussion of thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage is called the largest cartilage in the larynx. This is C-shaped cartilage, incomplete at dorsal side. Okay. Why this is called thyroid cartilage means thyroid gland is attached to the either side of the thyroid cartilage. That's why this is called as a thyroid cartilage. This is present at ventral side only. This is incomplete at dorsal side. Back side it is incomplete. In the males, did you find this? A swelling. Come on, you see this please. Are you visible? This location. A pointed prominence is there. A pointed prominence is there. This is called Adam's apple. In the males only you can see Adam's apple. Adam's apple is a structure of thyroid cartilage. Okay. Next, cricoid cartilage. Below the thyroid cartilage, a ring-like structure around the trachea is called as cricoid cartilage. Epiglottis. Epiglottis is a leaf-like extension from the thyroid gland. It is made up of elastic cartilage which is acting as a lid onto the glottis is called epiglottis. The epiglottis prevent the entry of food particles into the trachea. Right? Have a glance. Come on, next slide please. Next we discuss about paired cartilages. Paired cartilages are arytenoids, corniculates and cuneiform cartilages. First of all, we discuss about arytenoids. Arytenoids are 2 pyramid-shaped cartilages forming at dorsal side of larynx. Already we have discussed. What we have discussed, thyroid cartilage is present only ventral side only. Dorsal it is incomplete. That incomplete reason is having 2 pyramid-shaped cartilages are called arytenoids. Next, corniculates. The corniculates also called as cartilages of Santorini. Cartilages of Santorini. Corniculates are called as cartilages of Santorini, which are attached to the upper end of the arytenoids. Which are attached to the upper end of the arytenoids. Means they are rounded structures which are attached to the arytenoids. Next, cuneiform cartilages. Cuneiform cartilages are helping in the attachment of the arytenoids with epiglottis. Okay? Okay. Next we discuss about vocal cords. The vocal cords are yellow elastic fibers which connects between the thyroid and arytenoid cartilages. The vibration of yellow elastic cartilages can produce the sound. That's why these are called as voice box. In the males, the vocal cords are thicker and longer. That's why they are producing a low pitch voice. Whereas in the females and children, the vocal cords are short and tenser, so they produce a high pitch voice. The space between vocal cords and arytenoids, a narrow opening is called rema glottis, where the passage of air takes place from the glottis. Next, larynx contains a muscle folds at the upper region. They are called as mucus foldings. They are called false vocal cords. You remember, guys, in the humans, two pairs of vocal cords are there. They are true vocal cords as well as false vocal cords, pseudo vocal cords. Pseudo vocal cords are mucus foldings which are present at anterior or superior region. Okay, yellow elastic fibers are called as true vocal cords on vibrations which produces the sound. Okay, have a look in the diagrams, you can easily understand what the contents are. Right. Hi guys. This is ventral view of larynx. This is upper view of larynx. Take a detailed view, please. Right? Right. First of all, you take a discussion with this ventral view of larynx. See this, guys, this is a trachea. The trachea having C-shaped cartilages, all these are. The beginning of trachea, this one is called as a larynx. This part is called larynx, means voice box. It is made up of 9 cartilages, 3 unpaired cartilages, 3 paired cartilages. First of all, we discuss about unpaired cartilages. This is ventral and this is lateral. The ventral and the lateral of the larynx is having a thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage is ventral and lateral. So this is C-shaped. Okay. Dorsally it is not having any thyroid cartilage. Dorsal means backside of this picture. Okay, this is about called thyroid cartilage, the largest cartilage. This is Adam's apple, which can be seen in the males here. The extension from the thyroid cartilage, have you seen like this? This is extension. This is called epiglottis. The extension from the thyroid cartilage is called epiglottis, which is made up of elastic cartilage which acting as a lid to the glottis. Between the epiglottis and the thyroid, there is a bone. This is called hyoid bone. Hyoid bone is operating the functions of the larynx and the pharynx regions. Okay, na? Okay. This is hyoid bone. Above the hyoid bone, this is epiglottis. Epiglottis is extension of thyroid cartilage. Right? The posterior, the last one, it is a circular cricoid. Cricoid is present all around the trachea. This is a trachea. Around the trachea, this cricoid is present. Cricoid ring-like structure around the trachea. Cricoid is a base to the larynx. Base it is. After that thyroid extension is called as epiglottis. These are unpaired cartilages. Okay, guys? Okay. The upper view. When you see the upper view of this larynx, This is a thyroid, C-shaped structure, thyroid cartilage this is. Okay guys? Dorsal side it is vacant. Dorsal side it is not having thyroid cartilage. At a deep in, the circular structure is called, this is called cricoid cartilage. This cricoid, deep in, cricoid. This thyroid, this is the C-shaped thyroid. Okay? Okay. The pyramid-shaped structures, the paired cartilages which are present dorsal side of the larynx. The pyramid-shaped cartilages are called arytenoids. Arytenoids. To the arytenoids, rounded structures are present Santorini or corniculate cartilages. These are called corniculate cartilages. Okay? So these are arytenoid cartilages. These are corniculate cartilages. Okay? Stay cool. Bye. Stay cool, please. Here, arytenoids are connected to the thyroid cord with vocal cords. One pair of vocal cords. This is thyroid cartilage which is present ventral side of the larynx. This is in C shape. This is upper view in C shape. Dorsal it is having pyramid shaped cartilages, paired cartilages, arytenoids. It is having nodular structures. They are called Santorini or corniculate cartilages. Between the thyroid cartilage and arytenoid cartilages, fibrous elastic tissues are there. It is called vocal cords. These are called vocal cords between the arytenoids and thyroid cartilages. These are called vocal cords made up of yellow elastic tissue. The space between arytenoids and vocal cords, this narrow place which is having opening into the glottis is called as rema glottidis. This is opening of glottis, rema glottidis through the vocal cords and arytenoids. When the air is passing through this opening, this gap, these vocal cords are getting vibrations. Because of that vibrations only, sound is produced there. Okay, you got rema glottidis, vocal cords. Either side of the vocal cords, the mucous foldings are called as false vocal cords. Okay, this is about vocal cord. Hope you understand. Okay, right. Right. Next slide, please. External nostrils, nasal chambers, pharynx, larynx also completed. Now we are discussing about trachea. Trachea also called as windpipe. Trachea also called as windpipe, which is started from pharynx, passing into the neck, entering into the thoracic chamber up to fifth thoracic vertebrae. Trachea is present. This is called windpipe. Inside of trachea, it is lined with ciliated pseudostratified epithelium. Internally, the trachea is lined with ciliated pseudostratified epithelium. Here, mucus secreting cells are there. The mucus secreting cells can absorb the dust particles. The ciliated epithelium drive out the dust particles to the outside. That is about ciliated pseudostratified epithelium. When you touch the throat region like this, you can feel some ring-like structures. They are C-shaped ring-like structures. They are called hyaline cartilage rings. It is better not to call it as rings because it is incomplete at dorsal side. Dorsal side is esophagus is present. Dorsal side of the trachea, esophagus is present. That's why ventral and lateral side only the C-shaped cartilaginous structures are giving support to the trachea, which will not allow the collapsing of the trachea. It is kept opening of the trachea, which are C-shaped cartilages in trachea. They are nearly 16 to 20 are present. Posteriorly, the trachea is divided into two bronchi. This region they are divided into two bronchi. This is a trachea divided into two bronchi. Okay, na? And which region means T5. T5 means thoracic fifth vertebrae. Okay, the trachea having a flow chart. See the path. First trachea trachea divided into two primary bronchi. The primary bronchi is divided into secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi is divided into tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi is divided into primary bronchiole. Next secondary bronchiole. Next tertiary bronchiole. Later respiratory bronchiole. After that alveolar ducts and alveolar sacs. You guys remember, here missing bronchioles. In the flow chart, bronchioles missing. The trachea, primary bronchi large, secondary bronchi large, tertiary bronchi large. It is opens into primary bronchiole, secondary bronchiole, tertiary bronchiole, which is opens into respiratory bronchiole. The respiratory bronchioles are opens into clusters of alveolar ducts. The alveolar ducts are opens into alveolar sacs which are participating in gases exchange. The bronchi and initial bronchioles are supported by incomplete cartilaginous structures which kept open these ducts. All these trachea, bronchi and bronchioles together in inverted condition appears like a tree, that is called pulmonary tree. What is a pulmonary tree means? Together with bronchi and bronchioles, trachea in inverted condition appears like a tree. It is called pulmonary tree. Okay, this is about the passes of respiratory system. In this slide we have discussed about trachea, bronchi, bronchioles. In the flow chart, bronchioles are missing. You have to add this. Primary bronchi, secondary bronchi, tertiary bronchi. Primary bronchiole, secondary bronchiole, tertiary bronchiole, then respiratory bronchiole. Alveolar ducts, alveolar sacs. Okay. Respiratory pulmonary tree. Pulmonary tree means inverted structure of all these bronchi, bronchioles and trachea appears like a tree, so it is called pulmonary tree. Hope you understand. In the tomorrow's class we discuss about lungs and mechanism of respiration. Okay. Hope you understand. Okay. Bye.